on the team at sub-2.
Yeah, and Sitlali is a freshman with a lot of poise. She's thrown in a lot of games, and she limits those free passes, which is going to be so important.
Let's check out the Capital One starting lineup. Since Tennessee was the home team yesterday, they will be the visitors today. And what a postseason run it has been for Zeta Pooney. 7 for 12 with 5 home runs and 10 runs batted in over the course of 4 games so far in the tournament. They swept through the regionals, and now here in the Supers, they've taken game 1. Texas also swept its way through the regionals in Austin last week, so they will try and bounce back from their first loss of this postseason. Tennessee wins. They're headed to Oklahoma City. Texas wins. We're back to do it one more time. Winner take all tomorrow in game 3. And we jump right in with the All-American Kiki Malloy in the leadoff spot for the Longhorns. Not only speed at the top, but power as well. She is on record pace for the most home runs and the best slugging percentage in SEC history. In fact, her next home run will be her 26th, which would tie the single season record. Kiki yesterday was 1 for 3, drove in a run in their 5-2 win.
She's just so good in that leadoff spot. She brings power, she brings speed, a great eye. Isn't afraid to take the walk. 48 base on balls on the year.
Yeah, she was a top 10 finalist for National Player of the Year honors, but somehow was left off the final 3 that are up for the award.
I think that was a miss.
And that noise you're hearing, by the way, we have the rail cars rolling by out beyond the center field and left field fence here.
Something to aim for.
At Sherry Parker Lee Stadium, a moving target. And a rope back up the middle from Malloy. She'll head for second. And just that quickly, she's going to try for third. A runner 60 feet away from home with one swing of the bat.
Is she feeling it or what? And by the way, that was a 3-0 count. She had the green light. Of course, you're going to give your best hitter the green light, and this is still a pitcher's pitch. Goes away with this. You'll see her front foot kind of step close to go reach to get this. She'd think it out of the box double all the way, but as soon as this error was made, she jumps on it, taking third.
E8, charge it to Bella Dayton out in center field. And here's Zeta Pooney, who has been pouncing on pitches the last several weeks. Perhaps the best hitter in the country so far in this NCAA tournament for the junior out of Carson, California.
Tennessee, 14 home runs in their last 9 games. They have just been bashing it. Pooney with 6 of them.
You want to talk about a stretch, guys. In her last 6 games, 11 runs scored, 11 runs batted in. Almost 2 per night.
Oh, there's pressure in front of her. She swings the bat, and then Boo Gibson behind her, protecting her. 1, 2, and 3 for Tennessee are hot.
Slow roll to short, and the throw to the plate. Nowhere near in time to get Malloy, and they do not go for the out at first base, and Tennessee quickly grabs the lead.
You know, and that's something that needs to be read by the defense. That is ball angle down. The second that Kiki Malloy sees this ball angle down on the dirt, she's taking off. And I think in this position, Alyssa Washington probably needs to go to first to get the out, especially with the speed of Kiki Malloy. She recognizes it. It's a slow roller off the end of the bat. She's coming in hard to the backside of the plate. Big first run up on the board for Tennessee. And oh, by the way, Washington, injury earlier this year, has not played a lot of shortstop for Texas.
Yeah, they have made some adjustments defensively today with their lineup. They've been moving things around the last several weeks, but it is the first start for Alyssa at shortstop since March 3rd. That bumps Vivi Martinez, the shortstop, over to second base, and Leanne Good, the second baseman, making her first start at first base since the first weekend in March as well. They'll try for 2, and they'll get the lead runner at second as we send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, I talked to Coach Mike White of Texas on why he is starting Alyssa Washington at shortstop, and he said, we had a couple of miscues in the infield yesterday. She is a leader on the infield. We just had too many errors. Want our team to settle down a little bit. She leads by example. She's been out with that hand injury, so already a lot of pressure on this infield, but he's looking for her leadership to settle things down. Yeah,
the junior from Abilene. Mike White was telling us, she speaks, we listen. And they will need that, especially as we've addressed, Jess, with 4 freshmen in the lineup and a rookie in the circle pitching the biggest game of her life. Now, that leadership will be critical today.
They needed a way to get Alyssa into the lineup.
Here's Riley West.
Got to give a ton of credit, though, to Kiki Malloy in manufacturing that. I mean, obviously getting the hit, the double, but taking third base on what 90% of the country would have gotten thrown out on. And making that an easy run on a ground ball to short.
We've already seen a throwing error. Now, is this a wild pitch or a pass ball that will get Boo Gibson into scoring position? And they'll score at a wild pitch. Gutierrez gets the swing and the miss, and her first strikeout, 2 down.
Gutierrez with a lot of tools. She can go up, down. This is the drop ball, so she'll elevate at the rise, but this is the pitch that she can really do a good job with throwing over the top. This is a Texas team that rolls a lot of ground balls, 60% of their outs on the ground to just 40% in the air.
Here's Mackenzie Donahue. They call her Lou. First pitch swinging, and out to center. Dayton's got a beat on it, and the catch is made. But Malloy and Cooney at the top of the order team up for the first run of the day. Former MAC Pitcher of the Year at Bowling Green, and now a fabulous compliment to the All-American Ashley Rogers, who got the win yesterday for the Lady Vols, as we check out the Capital One starting lineup for Tennessee. And Mike White decides to shake things up. He moves Bella Dayton to the top. And there you see with Alyssa Washington getting the start at shortstop. She fills in down at the bottom of the order. Bella was 2 for 3 yesterday, drove in a run for the Horns. And they find themselves down 1-0 in a must-win situation, trying to force Game 3 tomorrow. The other developing story today, Stanford has punched a ticket, so they are at the World Series with Florida State and Oklahoma State. And Clemson right now is beating #1 Oklahoma late in the game, trying to end their win streak at 46 in a row. Couple at-bats left for the Sooners, 47 in a row.
Yeah, so they've tied it. A win today would break it. Clemson having something to say about that. And Peyton Gottschall just working the corners. It's what she does so well. Lots of great spin and command.
Bella Dayton, too. I like her in this leadoff spot. I know they've gone with Leanne Good, the freshman, who packs a punch, but Bella Dayton has a great eye, rarely strikes out.
And a called strike 3.
That's just out looking for the first out of the game for Peyton Gottschall.
Now it's Mia Scott, and the first pitch in for a strike. to the sophomore. Comes in with an 8-game hitting streak. She was 1 for 4 last night. Big story for Texas was missed opportunities. They actually out-hit Tennessee, but left 8 on base, including 3 innings late in the game where they had runners in scoring position, didn't get enough home in a 5-2 loss.
Mike White talked post-game, too, about their fight. He's like, they were on their heels early in the game, which you saw in the top half of this first inning. They were also on their heels. He's like, I liked what I saw, but it came too late. He also credited Kiki Malloy for that huge catch, what he believed was going to be a huge, huge inning.
How about 2 punch-outs for Peyton Gottschall to start things off for the Lady Vols?
Gottschall's so good at expanding the zone because she can work on both sides of it. This is a screwball on the outer half. The strikeout to Dayton was a curveball on the inner half. And so when she's really moving that ball through the zone and getting the edges, she can be tough to hit. Second strikeout.
Or off the edges in that case.
Here's Vivi Martinez. There you see the story of game 1 for the Horns offense. 1 for 5 RISP yesterday. Holly?
Mike White told me that they had too many strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 8 flyouts yesterday. He said, we're not putting pressure and making Tennessee make plays. Their goal today is to put it on the dirt, get this defense moving, and put pressure on them.
Yeah, that was a big thing last year for Texas when they were down a game at Arkansas, again, hostile SEC territory, and they rallied to win game 2, and then added a win in game 3 to get to the World Series. They were second-place finishers this year in the Big 12 behind Oklahoma with the 5th best batting average in the country. So, as Holly alluded, Mike White knows they can put the ball in play. They don't rely a ton on the home run, but they can single and double you all day long.
They are gap to gap, and when they can put it in those gaps, they can run as well.
Wow. Great. Looking.
Gottschall gets him 1, 2, 3, all strikeouts looking.
Is getting the start in the circle for the Texas Longhorns today, and she is a fascinating pitching prospect. She has been a winner everywhere she's been. She grew up in a tiny town in Texas called Stamford, Texas, with only just 2,000 population. She did a little bit of everything. She told me that she did track, tennis, cross country, cheerleading, softball, basketball, but she didn't just play those sports, she won at those sports. She got to state in tennis doubles. She won the first ever state championship in school history in softball. Basketball made it a far way in their state tournament as well. And this young lady has learned how to win at every level. She can do a little bit of everything. Here she is, starring on the biggest stage.
Yeah, what a moment for Citlali. Mike White was talking to us this week. A big part of her story today will be nerve management. And falling behind 1-0 in the first. Let's see how she settles in here in the second to face the Lady Vols 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Jamison Brockenbrough to lead things off. Out of Locust Grove, Georgia. 1 for 3 in game 1. She's got a hit in 6 of her last 7. Really came on during the SEC tournament. And now in her last 8 games is hitting .450.
Well, that's what they need, because when you really dig into their lineup as a team, they're hitting .300. 3 hitters over .300, but really from 4 through 9, they're all on the 200s.
The bottom of their order all reached yesterday, and Brockenbrough and Destiny Rodriguez both scored yesterday.
The first 2 runs of the game. I mean, she got it going in that second inning. You can have the bottom of the lineup producing this time of year, roll it back up to your big bats.
Rodriguez, by the way, gets the start again at second base. Lair Boutte out with a concussion this week, and lined and snagged by Popelka. Fighting a little bit of the sun and the breeze and the spin of the ball there. Back to Sit Lally, though. Holly was telling us what a terrific athlete she is. And acrobatic as well, gang. There you go.
Gymnastics part-time.
Oh, nice. Just a little misstep. What, we give
faux,
it a nine,
faux beam.
Is that a 9.5? What are we scoring her there?
9-5. Sounds good.
Here is Rodriguez.
She's got run on
Excuse me,
her.
Kutsoyanopoulos.
Gutierrez has run on her drop, which is an interesting pitch to me because when she throws it, you're going to see it kind of tail into righties, away from lefties. It's like a two-seam fastball in baseball, the way that it bends to the right.
Some coaches, pitching coaches, will call that a flip drop or a pitch that's going to, as you mentioned, Jess, run back in. Lisa Fernandez used to throw that pitch a lot as a righty, and tough to handle because it just continues to come in on your hands as a righty.
Another fly ball out to Popelka. 2 down. Here is Rodriguez in the 8th spot in the lineup. Destiny, the freshman out of Live Oak, Texas, 1 for 3 yesterday. You could hear the umpire, Smokey Ed, say ball down. He's behind the plate today. Mike Burwell at first, Tatum Stolting at second, Jim Bertuzzi at third. 4 umpires at the Supers. Both coaches have 2 challenges during the course of the ball game. And if they want to send it to the replay review center. Speaking of Smokey, he's got a pretty good seat down front. Gutierrez looking for a 1, 2, 3 inning. Just missed that one away.
She can throw that drop ball low in the zone. She can elevate it a little bit more. That over the top spin.
Another nice day here in Knoxville. Capacity crowd. There have been sellouts all over the country. And that'll scoot through the left side. And a base hit for Rodriguez.
How about Destiny Rodriguez? Few at-bats throughout this entire season, has come in for Lair Boutte, who had a concussion. She's now had 2 hits in 2 games, and just a good job with 2 strikes. Finding the hole through that 5-6 hole yesterday was a huge part of the rally.
And that's Gutierrez's off-speed curveball. I think it's a little fast right now. She could take more off of that. I think it'll be a little bit more effective pitch for her.
That's just her 2nd hit since the end of March. And her 2nd day in a row for Destiny. Here's Katie Taylor in the 9 spot. Singled, got hit by a pitch. She was on twice in the Game 1 win for the Lady Vols. Update, by the way, Clemson and Oklahoma. Clemson will take the lead into the 7th inning and a last at-bat for Oklahoma. Stunning development in Norman, trying to even up that Super Regional Series at 1 game apiece. Taylor, a hot shot, but Mia Scott is right there. Side retired, a 1-0 to the championship series in Oklahoma City that following weekend. And here they are again looking to force an if necessary game. They have done it in each of the last 3 postseasons. Of course, no tournament in 2020. So this is nothing new for Mike White and the Longhorns. Can they do it again this year and force game 3 tomorrow? They'll have to come from behind, down 1-0 in the series and 1-0 in the game today. 4, 5, 6 coming up. And Peyton Gottschall in the circle for the Lady Vols. 3 strikeouts looking in the first inning.
She's had 18 Ks in her last 11 innings pitched. She has been fire, especially in the postseason. It's like another level of Peyton Gottschall. It was cool talking to her this week, too. Her walk-up song, Motor. I mean, we're talking like serious heavy metal.
She's a metalhead.
What goes inside her mind?
She's got a little fire burning in that belly. And she isn't afraid to show it. A lot of emotion, gets to pop up right there. Let's check into the studio now for an update on Oklahoma-Clemson.
Thanks, Beth Matchik, Alicia Ocasio. You mentioned it earlier. Clemson trailed 4-0. It's been all Clemson since. Mackenzie Clark, 2-run shot. They've added a couple more at 7-4, Alicia.
It was a leadoff single to start, and like you said, an unbelievable 2-run shot by Mackenzie Clark to put the Tigers up. Oklahoma has not lost a game in 47, but Clemson looks to come out on top to force game 3.
That would be massive. I don't know if a whole lot of people saw that one coming. The way that Oklahoma has been dominating. Just the 1 loss all season to Baylor. And the win yesterday tied the all-time record set by Arizona back in the mid-90s. And it may be coming to an end. Oklahoma. 3 outs away.
Oklahoma.
Got a lot of Sooners of late. It's been a heck of a ride.
Each year.
For the overwhelming favorites to win a 3rd straight championship. They've won 5 of the last 9 in a decade of a dynasty.
Shows you how hard it is to do. I mean, you look at some of the games over the course of the season, how they've had to continue to win, the pressure.
Ground out to first. Remember, by the way, that is game 2 today. Oklahoma won the first game. Clemson is trying to even that series to force a game 3 tomorrow.
And the Sooners are good with their backs up against the wall. They came back in the 7th against Texas in the regular season. They came back against Oklahoma State in the 7th in the regular season. So this Oklahoma
Don't count them out.
No, they like to play backed up against the wall.
That's the view, by the way, from the soccer stadium across the parking lot where they sold extra tickets for this super regional. And Gottschall gets 3 straight infield outs. She starts
zip. She's one of the best pitchers or hitters in the country. Look at her D1 ranks, home runs, and that slugging percentage, which was over 1,000 until yesterday, because all she had was that single.
And here she is again to lead off the 3rd. Back to the top of the order for Tennessee against Citlali Gutierrez, the freshman pitcher for Texas. Of course, Kiki, the senior out of Woodinville, Washington. Both parents outstanding athletes. Has an older sister that has already played in a World Series for Washington. She's trying to get there for the first time with Tennessee. There's Lawyer Malloy. May recognize the name from his days in the NFL. Also an outstanding baseball player back in his day.
Played center field at UW. It's All-American. In fact, he's been the go-to. He said Kiki is his twin. If he had literally the same skills, same everything.
Oh, and that jumps right through the legs of Washington, who is in the game for her glove. And that is the 2nd error already for Texas.
Washington with an injury earlier in the year to her thumb, had surgery, and you can just tell not comfortable. That ball just eats her up. That's one you gotta go get. And you can see the tape on her thumb, so not a lot of time at shortstop, and it's showing up here.
And both the errors on Malloy at bats. And here is Zeta Pooney, who drove in a run with a fielder's choice back in the first to score Malloy.
Gosh, it's such a fun place to be Zeta Pooney. I mean, you got arguably the best hitter in the country in front of you. Boo Gibson with all her stats right behind you.
Home runs in 5 of her last 8 at-bats here in the NCAA tournament. She's already had a pair of 2 home run games.
5 of her last 7 hits have been home runs. I mean, have yourself a heck of a 2 weeks, Zeta Pooney.
And Popelka, that'll drop in front of her, fair ball. And just like they did in the first inning, the top 2 in the lineup getting something going here in the third.
Popelka had to be deep. We just talked about the stats of Zeta Pooney, so Popelka's heels were actually on the warning track. She hits it off the end of the bat, finds like a few inches fair.
It's off the end of the bat. Again, that's that.
Hey, tonight
Was off of that off-speed curveball again. So I think if she slows that down just a little bit, she'll get the swing and miss instead of off the end of the bat and getting that ball to dump in.
How hard is it to slow something down when you're a freshman pitching in your first Super Regional game?
Very hard.
I imagine adrenaline gives you more velocity.
Absolutely. You know, and sometimes you just have to focus on the spin of it, you know, just wrap it around your hips.
1-0 to Boo Gibson. 0 for 2 yesterday. She was fabulous during the regular season, but the bat has been a little more quiet so far in the postseason for the sophomore. She was their best hitter in SEC play. But in her last 15 games, she does not have a home run, only 4 RBI. And might have an RBI right here. They're going to try to score Malloy. And they got her. The tag to her back as she tried to slide home.
Karen wants to take a look at this for sure, but a heck of a throw by Bella Dayton out in center field. We showed the speed of Kiki Malloy, how fast she has been.
Well, and I think part of what happened with Kiki Malloy, look at the way she's going to have to pause, get around the ball, and that little bit of a half step right there delays her getting to home and making this a closer play than possible. And obviously, Citlali Gutierrez is loving what her defense just did behind her.
I'll tell you, it's been rare to see a well-executed assist from an outfielder, whether it's a sacrifice fly and a base hit. In fact, that's Bella Dayton's first outfield assist of the season. And Smitty, to your point, Kiki Malloy having to dodge the shot up the middle. Tag is just seeing where her foot is.
And I'm surprised she didn't go further away from the plate and arm, you know, how the slide by.
Yeah.
Well, this angle's not going to give the review booth the view of home plate. It does look like the right foot, the lead foot, though, is up in the air and not down on the base.
Way up the line to the throw. If she gets her there, she's out.
Yeah.
The thing is Reese Atwood continues to follow her. And usually if you've tagged her by now, you come back up. You see how she...
And Atwood, really good positioning to make sure that she is not interfering with the path of Kiki Malloy. That's been a big issue this year. So really good job defensively for Atwood setting herself up.
Yep.
And the play call stands out at home. So Texas with Bella Dayton out in center field, able to save the run and keep this 1-0. The base runners do advance on the throw home, so Pooney's at third, and Boo Gibson, who will be lifted for a pinch runner now, out at second base. I think that's Briley Masusan. Gibson can re-enter. In softball, you can be lifted once for a replacement and then re-enter the game. So some activity here in the early innings against Citlali Gutierrez. That has Sophia Simpson up early for Texas. She's been really good out of the bullpen for them this year. And of course, this is a must-win for Texas. They lose, their season is done. Here's Riley West, number 4 batter in the lineup, struck out on a drop ball her first time up. Back-to-back singles here for Tennessee. .63 miles per hour, took a little bit off. 0-2. Clemson now 1 out away from upsetting Oklahoma to even their super regional at 1 game apiece in Norman this afternoon. Trying to force what would be the first game 3 of the super regional weekend. 2 down after the strikeout.
Citlali continuing to work the corners. Nice curveball in the outer half. Love the fact that she puts that ball right at the knees, runs it away from Riley West. Picks up a huge second out with runners at 2nd and 3rd.
Here's the former Oklahoma Sooner. She and Pooney started out their careers at Oklahoma before coming to Tennessee. She had a home run in the regionals and then was 0 for 3 in game 1 yesterday here in the Supers.
Only one of the Texas bats is left-handed, so with all these righties in the lineup, Gutierrez is continuing to work that curveball away on the outer half of the plate. And then challenge with that drop ball back inside, the one that cuts underneath the hands, Jess, that you were talking about earlier.
Yep. She stays like right at that knee level too, and you're watching Tennessee hitters really try to drive that back knee down to meet that pitch. We saw it with Mac Morgan yesterday too, who's predominantly drop ball. But Citlali likes to use that curve and drop, both sides at the bottom of the zone.
Here's the 1-2. Got her. So they throw a base runner out at home, and then they strand 2 more. Oklahoma State, Stanford will all be there as we have started to punch tickets to OKC. We will keep you posted on the drama in Norman. Game 2, Oklahoma and Clemson, the 2-time defending champs, in some trouble late in that game, as Clemson tries to force a game 3 tomorrow. And right back to Peyton Gottschall. She's retired the first 7 that she has faced.
She gets so fired up. I love watching a pitcher that just lays it all out there, not just with her emotions, her pitching, but I mean, her reacts on this. Great defensive play. She's going over to right, sets her feet, throws it out. I can't tell you how many times we see that thrown away, but then the reacts afterwards. She says when she's pitching, she has like loud screaming in her head, and she has like total anger.
Well, in Texas, checking my scorebook here, they have not gotten the ball out of the infield just yet. 2 down. Holly?
Well, Peyton really manifests this certain kind of mindset, and it starts with her walkout songs, her playlist that she plays before the game. I want you to look at this playlist. I mean, my eyes go right to Highway to Hell, Get Crazy, Take Over Your Trap. There's so many good songs here that get your mind going of like domination in the circle. She's got that cat eye winged eyeliner, just a certain persona in the circle that I love, and she kind of manifests how she wants to pitch that day with that fiery personality and that fiery music playlist.
There you go. Let's see if we can download that one. Even yeah, I think I spotted some Nickelback on that, by the way.
Yeah, burn
the
it to the
fact
ground.
that she's got Triple H's walkout, it just tells you everything you need to know.
Oh, for Peyton Gottschall and the teammates behind her.
Inning, what composure has Sitlali shown in the circle for you right now?
Very much so. You know, right now we're bending, we're not breaking, so we got to make sure we keep it that way. But she showed a lot of maturity that last inning for us.
The last inning goes too fast. I know you've been wanting to put the ball on the ground and make more pressure on their defense, but how do you get that done in the box?
That's a good question. We're working on that right now. But, you know, they're playing good defense. They're pumped up. You know, we just got to ride the storm here a little bit and hope we can turn the tide.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you. Hook 'em.
All right, here's the defense coming through clutch in that third inning, Jess.
Yeah, you think about Bella Dayton and the throw that she made. Her first assist from the outfield, getting the fastest runner in this Super Regional, Kiki Malloy. And how about the freshman, Sitlali Gutierrez, getting Mackenzie Donahue. The best pitches she threw were with runners in scoring position after the heck of a throw by Bella Dayton.
It stays a 1-0 game. Gutierrez and Gottschall. Neither one has been in this position before, pitching in the Super Regionals. And Gottschall has kept Texas off the bases through the first 3, hitless thus far. 4 hits and the 1 run for Tennessee. And a change defensively here for Texas.
Expected this to come. Alyssa Washington, after that last error, they're going to move it back to what their normal starting defense is. Viviana Martinez back to shortstop. Leanne Good back to second base from first.
And that would put Vanessa Quiroga over at first base. She started there yesterday.
This is all about just making the routine plays behind Gutierrez. You got to get those outs when they're given to you, and I'm sure that's what Mike White is thinking, even though he thought that with Washington at shortstop, that's his best defense, but it's just tough when you don't have the reps.
Well, especially, I mean, not trying to give her the excuse, but Kiki Malloy hit that ball
Hard.
crazy hard. And so your reacts, you're not used to seeing that when you're taking ground balls before the game.
This is 6, 7, 8 here for Tennessee. Jamison Brockenbrough lined out to left her first time up. Trying to break the recent trend, they have lost at home in the NCAA tournament each of the last 2 seasons. The last time they hosted a Super Regional, 2017, also lost at home to Texas A&M. Was able to hold up. Winner of this series moves on to Oklahoma City, where they will open up Thursday against either Alabama or Northwestern. Northwestern leads that Super Regional 1-0 down in Tuscaloosa. Popelka takes care of Brockenbrough for the second time, 1 down. We've had some mismatches so far. Just 1 or 2 tight matchups. We have not had a game 3 yet in this Super Regional weekend. Clemson had been working on one. And then Oklahoma tied the game in the top of the 7th inning on a Kinsey Hansen home run. They are even still in the 7th. Ground ball to second. Gutierrez has settled down nicely.
She's rolling a lot of ground balls, which is what typically Mac Morgan and Gutierrez will do with that drop ball really heavy at the end or the bottom of the zone.
Clemson, by the way, now will have a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th to even that series. We'll keep you posted.
You know, with the type of pitchers that Texas had. You know, last year they really struggled with their defense, but it was amazing how clean it got late in the season for them to have that run to the semifinals in the women's College World Series. And this year they've kind of done the same thing. 58 errors on the year. 2 yesterday, 2 today. But when they play clean defense, put runs up on the board, this Texas team is tough to beat. Pitchers keep the ball in the yard. That's the other big thing. Gutierrez has given up just 6 home runs this year.
2-0 to Rodriguez. And another ground out. And another 1-2-3 inning for Sitlali. We'll hear from Coach Karen.
Coach, your pitching staff has done a great job. What is Peyton like when she gets out there and kind of owns the circle like we see?
Peyton loves to compete. She's really exuberant. She plays off the crowd. Her teammates play off her. She's a lot of fun.
Your hitters have had some opportunities, but what do they need to do right now to maximize Gutierrez kind of getting in a rhythm?
We got to be better with 2 strikes. You know, we have runners second and third. We can't get 2 strikeouts there. We've got to do something to put the ball in play. And, you know, if you don't get what you want before then, you just got to be really tough with 2. And we have missed some opportunities, and we need to change that.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Holly. And for Peyton Gottschall, a ball did not reach the outfield the first time through the lineup. She has set down 9 in a row and has done with stealth efficiency. Just 26 pitches used so far through the first 3 innings. And it's back to the top of the order in which she struck them out, all looking the first time they came up.
And hasn't had a strikeout since that first inning, but the majority of her outs have been in the air. Just 2 ground outs, 4 fly outs.
Popped up and caught. Boo Gibson got it. 1 down.
Well, that's a great job by Boo Gibson to make sure that she's in the position, and you could tell that the infield was squeezing in, reading the hands of Bella Dayton. You know, and this is all about just understanding where you're at in the game. Reads the hands, the ball's up in the air.
Yeah, watch her come running in. Boo Gibson. You see a lot of these Texas lefties, and they've got a ton of them. They're all able to lay down a drag bunt at any time. Mia Scott, she's the bat. I feel like she's the one you kind of circle in this lineup. We talked a lot about the freshman, but Mia Scott, the sophomore, is their best hitter, their best athlete. She had what would have been a triple taken away yesterday. Great catch by Kiki Malloy. Hardest hit ball of the game for Texas.
To Mia.
Pitches money, curveball in the inner half to 2-0 count, and that's the confidence of Peyton Gottschall with that pitch.
Mia Scott's crowding too. She's not only in the back of the box, but her toes are really close to the line on the plate. She struck out looking away on a pitch that was off the plate. She's trying to cheat a little bit to get to that.
And now 2-2. Gottschall's the grad transfer from Bowling Green, came to Tennessee to have postseason moments just like this. And the challenge of competing for a national championship.
Wow. This is a great pitch.
It's a really good pitch.
Mia is on the plate. I mean, as on the plate as you can be, and look at where this is low. That's a strike. Mia Scott got lucky with that one.
Right back to Gottschall. Her first full count of the day, and she takes care of it, 2 down.
Great job by Gottschall to come back after not getting that call. She doesn't get over frustrated, puts a good pitch down, gets the ground out. That's experience.
Viviana Martinez off the glove of Gottschall to second base, and they're able to clean it up with Destiny Rodriguez. Texas considering a challenge. Mike White is looking. And they're waiting, looking into the Texas dugout to see if they should challenge this at first.
You have 30 seconds to make a decision.
Well, he's trying to ask his runner, do you think you were
And
safe?
they will challenge it here. The first of their 2 in the ball game. Again, this is significant because it would be their first hit of the game if they change it. Oh, and they might.
Has to be in the back of the glove. That's going to be key on this one. Because, I don't know. I don't know if it's enough to overturn. Because I think she is.
Right there, it's on the back. Oh, that's, it might be by like an inch before the foot comes down.
It's important to note the call on the field is out, so they need video proof that she is safe to change it.
I don't know. I think literally is a tie would be safe, but to overturn it on that.
You do not save a challenge, by the way, if you get it right. The coach has 2, but then the umpires can use their discretion the last couple innings to go to look at anything they choose. Sometimes with a little prodding from the coaches. Stay out at first. And Peyton Gotcho, the no-hitter through 4 for Tennessee. To the 5th inning, Katie Taylor, and then the top of the order, Kiki Malloy and Zeta Pooney due up. And Taylor out to Popelka, 1 down. Let's send it down to Holly for more on Kiki.
You mentioned Kiki Malloy trying to get to the World Series like her older sister Amira did with the Washington Huskies, and Kiki's competitive spirit might come from having to compete against her growing up. I read a great story by the Seattle Times where Kiki would try to strike her sister out. They'd played games, play in the backyard, and Kiki was a pretty good pitcher in high school, and she could just not get her sister out. So those sisters pushing each other, and now both of them may end up at the World Series. Pretty cool for the Malloy family.
Yeah, Mira has been there with Washington.
Younger sister Tia, speaking of Oklahoma, that's where she's headed. And talking to Dad Lawyer, they say the youngest one, the 11-year-old's the best of all 4.
Really?
Wow.
Well,
Man,
time will tell.
She's better than Kiki. She's got to be pretty studly.
I love NFL players end up with 4 daughters.
That's awesome.
You know, Malloy has just been having a phenomenal season. She has scored the Tennessee run and then also thrown out at home in the 3rd inning, trying to score their 2nd run. That Torchbearer Award, by the way, that's huge. That's for excellence just as a student, not necessarily as a student athlete. And for her to win that, the first softball player to do it, for excellence here at the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, and you think of the quality of softball players that have come through this program over the last 25 years. It's a pretty big honor.
Trying to get back to the World Series for the first time in 2015. If they win today, they go. 1-2 from Gutierrez.
Oh, and there's that curveball again on the outer
Good
half.
spot, too.
Really good spot. It's trying to expand that zone, but you know,
She
Kiki
thought about it.
Yeah, she did think about it, but you know why Kiki Malloy is so good is that she is not afraid to hit with 2 outs. She is a great, 2 strikes. She's a great 2-strike hitter.
Full count. Ball 4, and Kiki has now walked 49 times.
The difference. She has been red hot, especially these last 2 weeks.
She was telling us, and Holly has her pre-pitch routine down, that deep breath, tells herself it's time to go, and it's time to dominate is the word that she used. She's been doing that to pitchers of late. Out in front of it and foul towards the railroad tracks.
Zeta Pooney has been one of those hitters that's really done well with Chris Malveaux, their hitting coach. She talked a lot about her lower half, really activating her strong muscles. That back knee that she uses to drive down, those back hips. You see how strong her legs are.
And that's so important against a drop ball pitcher. Attacking that lower half of the zone, you got to get that barrel down into the ball, change the direction of the spin, try to elevate it, lift it back out.
Yep. Getting on plane with that pitch. A lot of the drill work they've done was to prepare for drop ball pitchers they knew they would face in Texas.
Swing and a miss. And a big strikeout for Sitlali. 2 down.
Well, she gets Zeta Pooney to swing through it. Fourth strikeout of the game. Freshman.
Malloy on the run. Safe. Kiki now 39 for 40 in her stolen base attempts this season. Tops of the SEC.
You see the jump and the speed. And that's Mama right there. Dad can take all the credit he wants for the hitting and the power, but the speed. Speed comes from Mom.
And here's Boo Gibson. Tennessee just 1 for 6 with a runner in scoring position. They are allowing Texas to hang around. Gutierrez has done a good job since that first inning, since the first 2 batters really, of staying out of trouble.
Confidence gain working out of that 3rd inning. Leadoff error, couple of hits, couple of big strikeouts.
Well, Mike White obviously does a good job of getting his young players ready for big moments. You go back to last year, Game 3 of the Supers. Sophia Simpson, the freshman, was lights out. And now Gutierrez keeping Texas in it, trying to force a Game 3 as Sophia, now in her sophomore year, gets ready if needed.
Well, Sophia last weekend was outstanding. A couple of saves, came in through 2 innings to close out the regionals in both the 2nd and 3rd games for Texas. She has a dominating changeup, so if she comes in the game, she's all about that knee-buckling changeup. A pretty good mix with Gutierrez, who just throws the off-speed curveball and a lot of drop. You can see Boo Gibson starting to slide up to the front of the box. These Tennessee hitters trying to make adjustments.
They have gone extra innings now, by the way, in Norman. So we got 2 games going on right now. Stanford has already won today to go to the World Series. San Diego State and Utah starting within the hour. Louisiana at Washington and Northwestern at Alabama, the doubleheader tonight. Gibson drives Popelka back to the track, but room to make the catch. Side retired as Malloy is stranded.
I can't choose. Come on.
Well, you tutored both at one stage of yours of their careers.
Yeah,
right?
I taught Kat Oshman her curveball when she was shorter than I was, and then saw her 2 years later, and she was 3 inches taller than I was.
Courtney Day. Can Texas crack the code? They do not have a hit off of Peyton Gottschall just yet. They don't. Let's see. Is it still without a ball out of the infield, as a matter of fact, so far today?
It's fun to look back on those memories. Two most dominant pitchers in the game that we've seen. College softball last 20 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't touch either one of them. Good thing they were on my team.
That's right. That's when you're happy that they're wearing the red, white, and blue for Team USA.
Both were members of United States Olympic teams. Both played in the World Series. Abbott made it to a championship series in 2007. And they lost to Arizona in the finals. Kat Osterman so close on 3 occasions.
Remember they had to get beat twice.
Denied
UCLA did that.
That's right.
Sunday.
Let's send it down to Holly.
Well, you know, Monica Abbott coming to Tennessee really put the Lady Vols on the map. She was a pitcher from California, and nobody had come from the west to the east because Southeastern Conference softball hadn't really gotten started that great yet. But she came, she took a leap of faith, and Monica Abbott on her recruiting visit met with the great Pat Summitt. And Pat said, I promise you, if you come to Tennessee, you will get to the World Series. When you get to the World Series, I will be there front and center. So sure enough, Monica came. And they did get to the World Series. So sure enough, Pat Summitt, she was on vacation at her house in Destin, Florida, and she interrupted her vacation to be there in the front row supporting Monica Abbott, that recruit that she had gotten to come here, and the rest is history.
Ball 4, so that will break up the perfect game. It is a base runner for the first time for Texas today. And now we've talked about them throughout this Super Regional. Here come, scheduled anyways, 3 freshman batters in a row with Good, Atwood, and Maloney. Can they make the difference as they have done all year for Texas?
On this situation, see what Mike White does if he chooses to play a little bit of small ball. I think getting late in the game, you got to move your runners over into scoring position.
Well, Atwood, who's on deck here with Good up, is your home run leader. So do they bunt Day over here?
And if you do that, you open first.
That's what Tennessee's expecting, Smitty.
Yeah,
she does not show it.
Yeah, I like her hitting. She's leading the team in slug. She normally hits at the top of the lineup. She only has 4 sacks all season long. But she's in the lineup because of her pop.
Yeah, maybe in this situation, a hit and run would be better instead of a bunt.
Megan Rhodes-Smith, another legendary Tennessee pitcher who is now in charge of the pitchers, out to chat with Peyton Gottschall, trying to make sure they got things set up for Leanne Good here. Regional. A valiant effort by Montana Fouts in the circle for Bama yesterday. Going to pop up here to Gottschall, and she can't hold on to it. They'll get the force out here at second. But a terrific effort to win on the road for Northwestern last night, and now the Wildcats are a win away from going back for a second year in a row.
This was a tough play because Gottschall needs to go back and try to catch this over her head. It's going to pop out of her glove, but I love the presence of mind for the infield to recover. Rodriguez, ball over to Donahue. I once had a legendary coach tell me, Mikey, stay in the circle. That would be Ralph Raymond, our Olympic coach.
You did a good impersonation.
He was a little guy from Worcester, Massachusetts, so he always had that accent. But that's a tough play. I think that's a no man's land, though. If Gottschall doesn't catch that, it possibly hits the ground, spins away.
No one was catching that, but Peyton.
No. Yeah, it was a good recovery by the defense, even though it came out of her glove.
A chance for Atwood, but she's going to fly out here in foul territory, and an unproductive out to advance a base runner, 2 down.
You know, this is too where Peyton Gottschall, and you saw the meeting earlier coming out, is really to stay top of the zone, force more fly balls, which they've already done this game. It's a lot easier to catch a fly ball than it is produce outs with something on the ground.
Yeah, that is the first ball that got out of the infield. And now everybody's in with the slapper Maloney, including the outfielders who have pulled way in. Peyton Gottschall, who threw a no-hitter last weekend in the regionals. Spinning some more magic here in the Supers.
Boy, the defensive alignment. Rodriguez, the second baseman, is all the way up the middle next to second. She'll be taking any attempt of a steal. Donahue, the shortstop, well in. Pooney and her protecting that left side. Boo Gibson off the line. That tells me that they're all outside. We saw that last week at the SEC tournament as well. When slappers are up, runner on first. This is exactly how Tennessee attacks the hitters, the slappers especially.
Maloney with the best batting average on the team. They hit her in the 7th spot in the lineup. Pooney stays down on it at third and fires over to first. 3 back here in Knoxville tomorrow. We do not have a game 3 yet this weekend. Florida State, Oklahoma State, and Stanford have all advanced. Oklahoma and Clemson in extra innings right now. Oklahoma a win away from the World Series. 4, 5, and 6 coming up for Tennessee. The second best scoring team in the country this year at 7 runs per game, but the freshman Citlali Gutierrez has been sitting them down. And her counterpart, Peyton Gottschall, near perfect.
Both pitchers, really good pitch counts. I mean, Gottschall's off the chart at 46 pitches, but even Gutierrez, really good command of her pitches. 76 pitches so far, rolling a lot of ground balls.
Well, this is the batter that she's done the best against, too. The 4 strikeouts have been against Riley West, using that drop ball and the curveball, sticking middle away, trying to make West chase.
So important for both sides to be clean these last couple of innings. The lone run of the game for Tennessee came in the first inning, aided by an error and a wild pitch.
Before an out was even recorded, Malloy was putting a run up on the board. That third inning was big for Tennessee, not scoring, opportunity to do damage, and weren't able to.
Yeah, Texas with Bella Dayton out in center field. The outfield assist to throw out Malloy at home to keep it at a 1-run game. And now Riley West will lead off the 6th with a walk. Remember, even though Tennessee's on their home turf, they are the visitors here in game 2. And checking the old scorebook, that is the second free pass. And the second walk in the last 4 batters for Gutierrez. Would be an 8th trip for Tennessee. Their first since 2015 for Texas. This is an elimination game. They fought off elimination last year in the Super Regionals, and then came out of the losers bracket at the World Series to reach the finals, falling to Oklahoma in 2 games in the Champ Series, the Longhorns' first trip to the finals. And laced out to right, and Ashton Maloney well placed. Send it down to Holly.
Well, Texas has been on an incredible journey thanks to head coach Mike White, but he is new to the coaching profession, if you can believe it. He was a standout international fast-pitch softball player himself, great pitcher, the best in the world at one point. But Ralph Weekley, the former Tennessee Vols coach, said to him in 1997, you know, pitchers show leadership. You show leadership. You need to be a coach. So he gave it a try. He was an assistant at Oregon in the 90s, didn't really love it, but back in 2009, Oregon called him again, said you can come back as the head coach. And so he did. It was a very successful run at Oregon, multiple trips to the Women's College World Series, and really kind of a latecomer. He's had other businesses he's run. He's run a supply and demand business, lots of different things that he's tried on, but this hat seems to fit pretty well as a head coach for Mike White.
He always seems to have his teams right in the middle of the mix.
Well, he played with a lot of fire and energy. His teams always have that grit. They battle.
This could be a series, by the way, in the future with Texas and Oklahoma both set to leave the Big 12 to start playing softball in the SEC in the spring of 25. So next year will be the last for those two. And the wild pitch gets an insurance runner to second base. And now RBI knocking for Brockenbrough.
Jamison Brockenbrough will be playing for the Irish national team coming up this summer. You know, with a name like Jamison,
gotta be.
She's gotta be Irish.
Good look from out of the Tennessee dugout.
Gutierrez continuing to just work the edges. Has not missed a lot of pitches over the plate.
Full count now to Jamison. And pops it up. 2 down. Got an update. What's going on at Heinz Field, Matt? That is 2 big home runs off of Player of the Year candidate Val Cagle for Clemson. Oh, got a Sooner fan in the house, keeping everybody abreast of the situation here in Knoxville.
Watching it on the app.
He's got the best of everything right there. Softball, get what you're missing on your phone.
If Oklahoma does win that, by the way, they would open up with Jess's Cardinal on Thursday. Their first game would be against Stanford. They are back at the World Series for the first time since reaching the semis in 2001 and then again in 2004.
Seymour misses this inning from Sitlali, who was doing a good job really hitting the corners of the plate. Now a lot of misses up in the zone.
Yeah, and working from behind. She started out quite a few of the hitters 2-0. In this case here to Kutsoyanopoulos.
For tonight, Northwestern will look to beat Alabama to advance to the World Series. The Crimson Tide, however, home at the Rhodes House, will fight to force a Game 3 tomorrow. Oh, the throw down behind, trying to catch West off the base. The World Series coverage, of course, each and every pitch from start to finish. And our quadruple header next Thursday at noon Eastern will get it going. 3 teams we know are there. We could punch 2 more tickets within the hour if Tennessee and Oklahoma win. We already know one of the matchups, Florida State and Oklahoma State. And oh, by the way, they played a 3-game series in Stillwater during the regular season. Pokes took 2 of 3. Ooh, that'll be a juicy pitching matchup. Kat Sandercock, McKenna Reed against Lexi Kilfoyle and Kelly Maxwell. And a 2-out walk.
Yeah, 3rd free pass of the game, 2nd of the inning. With 2 outs and the base open. Doesn't push a runner, but it looks like Mike White might make a change.
Let's see, Mike. Sophia Simpson trotting in from the bullpen. And a pitching change here for Texas. Solid showing for the freshman, Citlali Gutierrez, 5 2/3. In the championship series a year ago, needs to win today and tomorrow to go back. Third appearance of this NCAA tournament for Sophia Simpson.
She was great last week against Texas A&M. Gave up just 1 hit in 2 innings. Really the thing for Simpson is going to be limiting the free passes, 36 walks in her 61 innings plus. She keeps the ball in the yard, 5 home runs given up. And she's done a good job with inherited runners. She's inherited 14 runners this year, only 2 have scored.
Well, she only needs the 1 out here, and she's facing the number 8 hitter, Destiny Rodriguez, but Destiny does have a single back in the 2nd inning. Not sure what Karen Weekly is inquiring about here. Yeah, well, in the first base umpire, Mike Burwell, has run all the way down towards the bullpen. They have a question of, is the gate stuck open? What are they doing?
Ashton Maloney actually came from over there. She was in the bullpen trying to do something. And then she came running out on the field.
Well, there is an NCAA official there working a couple of phones trying to figure something out. So we have a delay here. Clemson, by the way, down to their final out, trailing Oklahoma by a run in the bottom of the 9th. After the Sooners, down to their final strike. In the 7th inning, got a 3-run home run from Kinsey Hansen, and then a go-ahead home run in the 9th inning from Tiare Jennings. And your guess is unfortunately as good as ours right now. So apparently the gate will not close. And now they're determining, well, what if somebody catches a ball in play and run, if you run out of play, obviously the gate usually would not be open there.
Or if the ball goes through there and it goes out of play, it would be an extra base.
I actually don't even see a gate anymore, do you? Well, the 2 coaches, by the way, go back a long way. They, Karen and her husband Ralph, who was the former co-head coach here with her, and Mike White have been friends through their work with the U.S. national team for a long time.
Whole lot of people on the field now.
Wow.
Trying to figure this out. They keep coming out of the more and more people trying to figure this out. So it's like playing Sandlot, right?
Well, yeah.
Just
well,
make up your rules. Let's go.
Crazy is there's nobody at the gate, which we're guessing is the crisis here.
Yeah, it is. It's the fence.
Mike White's getting a little heated too.
Yeah.
He just threw up his arms. So.
I think Holly might have some info for us. Holly?
Okay, guys, there's a question about videographers being in the dugout. They brought the NCAA reps out there to say, hey, what was told to us in the meeting? We have a lot of videographers around here doing social media and different things like that. So there were some questions about cameras in the dugout. They're taking all the cameras out of the dugout just to make sure that there's nothing inappropriate going on, just so everybody is on the same page.
Thank you very much, Holly. We apologize to the gate for insinuating that the gate was the culprit. Sorry about that. There we go. Look,
Hey.
gate's good, everybody. Gate's good.
It is good.
So back to the action. 1-0 Tennessee leading Texas. 2 on with 2 out, and the pitching change and the delay close to 8 minutes since last pitch. And now Sophia Simpson to face Destiny Rodriguez. Tennessee clinging to that 1-run lead. They got it with their first 2 batters of the day back in the first inning. They are 1 for 8 since with runners in scoring position. And that one was the Pooney RBI, the fielder's infield choice to score Kiki Malloy.
Well, Beth, with Texas being the home team in this game, you know, giving the opportunity to Texas with only a 1-run lead. Tennessee very aware they need to put more runs on the board.
I should say it was Pooney's hit when Malloy got thrown out at the plate in the 3rd inning. And there is a gapper to right center, and that'll score a run. Destiny Rodriguez. An opportunity to shine, and then they go for the out at second base, allowing another run to come in. Wow. And it's another Texas defensive miscue, helping another run cross the plate. But what a super regional for Destiny Rodriguez.
Oh, the freshman just taking a pitch on the inner half and going inside out. Sophia Simpson in the game, pitch on the inner half, and she just drives that into right center gap. Easily going to score a couple of her teammates. West from second. Kutsianopoulos is actually going to score on a defensive miscue for Texas. Quiroga throws behind the runner, and that allows Kutsianopoulos.
And she throws it underhand.
Yes.
This whole play,
I think
lack of communication.
And Jess, I think she forgets there's a runner at third.
That's what I mean, lack of communication. Don't throw this.
You can never throw behind the runner.
It is the first RBI for Rodriguez since March 8th. With the single to score West, and then Kutsianopoulos scores on the throw down to second. 3-0 Tennessee.
I give Tennessee so much credit, though, for taking advantage. I mean, we saw even with the base hit, Destiny Rodriguez, the throw came in. As soon as it was bobbled, she took off towards second base. They are constantly trying to take that next base.
Katie Taylor. Simpson's got to take care of her because Malloy is on deck. We welcome those of you that may have been watching Oklahoma beat Clemson in extra innings to advance to the Women's College World Series and win their 48th game in a row. So half the field is now set for Oklahoma City. 4 more spots to fill. And a drop third strike. Runners on the corners.
Wow, really good job by Katie Taylor to take off, knowing that ball got away from Reese Atwood, and also for Destiny Rodriguez, seeing that in front of her, the ball gets back. She advances to third, so first and third situation for Tennessee.
Score that, a strikeout and a wild pitch. And the miscues part of their undoing here through the 2 games of the Super Regional. Let's send it down to Holly.
Well, what a great mindset from Destiny Rodriguez. She didn't even know she would be starting or playing in this Super Regional until 3 days ago. That's when Lair Boutte had a collision in practice, suffered a concussion. She's been starting since March. And so Destiny Rodriguez, her name gets called. Here she is, and she's done a phenomenal job, not only at second base defensively, but how about the 2 runs brought in right there. Talk about being ready when your name is called. Well done, young lady.
Best coaches will always say, work while you wait. Work while you wait for that opportunity so that when it comes, you can capitalize.
And now it's Kiki Malloy in the top. What a job by the bottom three in the order. You know the top of this lineup is so good, but if the bottom three, Brockenbrough, Rodriguez, and Taylor, doing what they've been doing here in the Supers, Tennessee is trouble.
Yeah, and all this damage with 2 outs.
Malloy 1 for 2, a double and a walk. Has also reached on an error. And this is a Tennessee team that has been at its best with 2 outs. Popped it up. That's a big get for Sophia Simpson, but 2 more runs in for Tennessee and a 3-0 lead. You're watching NCAA. In the 7th, they win it with a home run in the 9th, and they eliminate Clemson. 48 wins in a row. That is a new Division I record, and they will be back in the Women's College World Series, opening up against Stanford next Thursday.
So we have 1 strike away
Yep.
for Clemson, too. I mean,
3rd opponent this year that had them down in the 7th, and they came back. Texas, Oklahoma State, and now Clemson. Wow.
So we have 2 of the matchups set for Thursday, Oklahoma Stanford and Florida State Oklahoma State. Tennessee is 3 outs away from being the 5th team to punch a ticket. And the story here so far, Peyton Gottschall, just 1 walk allowed, a solitary base runner for Texas. They do not have a hit off of Gottschall, who already has a no-hitter in this NCAA tournament.
Vanessa Quiroga getting her first at-bat of this game. Remember, she came into the game for Alyssa Washington. She went into first base. Everyone moved over. Her first time facing Gottschall.
Quiroga, shallow left, and that will drop in. First hit of the ball game for Texas.
Oh, man. When your pitcher has a no-no going in the bottom of the 6th, you cannot be standing up. You have to lay out. I'm not saying you're going to catch it, but you got to lay on the line, especially because the trajectory, it's coming down. The ball's going to sit right there. You got to lay it all out for your pitcher.
Yeah, especially coming down like that, first batter of the inning as well, Jess, right? You just got to go get that.
Oh, man. It's almost where, like, I feel like teams need to get together, like, you guys realize what's happening, right?
Yeah.
There is a no-hitter.
Well, getting that first out of the inning, the no-hitter, all of it combined.
Yep.
Dive.
Oh, that little duck out to left breaks up the no-hitter for Vanessa Quiroga. And now it's the 9-hitter, Alyssa Popelka. That's the first ball, by the way, that left the infield today.
And it barely did. But you know what? I give a lot of credit. Vanessa Quiroga coming off the bench.
Absolutely. Battling. Put herself in a good leverage count at 3-1 to be able to get something decent. I mean, Peyton Gottschall's done a great job of controlling the zone, the at-bats, working ahead. Seen a lot of that, a lot of 0-2 counts.
Missed bunt attempts too. This is big for Texas.
Well, Popelka finds a way on. That brings the tying run to the plate.
Postseason Bella, that's who's on deck. So they've nicknamed her because of the type of player that she's been for them. Already seen the arm out in center field. She's 0 for 2 in this one, but this is the inning for Texas.
Mitchell's got her 0-2. Popped up, and the catch is made. Double play. Donahue over to first to erase the base runner.
Wow. How about Mackenzie Donahue? I love her reacts on this, the way she read it, her first step to go get this ball in the air. Really good job to pick this up in a bullet over to Boo Gibson at first. That's the 14th double play of the year. And that's a big base running error right there by Quiroga. That play is in front of you. You got to see that ball down before you get too far off.
So nobody aboard, 2 outs, top of the lineup. Catches the corner, 1-2. She does not have a strikeout since she struck out the first 3 batters of the day.
But remember, none of them were swinging. This is a team now with 2 strikes. Texas knows you have to battle.
Grounded to Donahue. 3-0 Lady Vols. We head to the 7th. And now Tennessee 3 outs away from the World Series. The following season, 1992, UCLA went 54-2. That's the best record ever. But that Oklahoma team will go to the World Series with just 1 loss. And so not only going for a three-peat, but an opportunity to really cement a spot atop at least the best record and best win percentage of all time if they are spotless in Oklahoma City. Top 7 here, Zeta Pooney to lead things off for Tennessee with a 3-0 lead, so they find themselves 3 outs away from advancing to the World Series. They would play on Thursday against either Northwestern or Alabama in their first game of the double elimination tournament. Three more games still to come tonight. San Diego State at Utah, Louisiana at Washington, Northwestern at Alabama. San Diego State, the Aztecs, 1 win away from their first ever World Series trip. On the heels of their men's basketball team playing for the national championship this year.
How about that?
As Pooney draws the leadoff walk.
First walk given up by Simpson. 4th walk of the game given up by Texas.
Boo Gibson, 1 for 2, singled in the 3rd. Tennessee, by the way, they beat Northwestern early in the year, and they took 2 of 3 from Alabama in the regular season, also beat the Tide at the SEC tournament.
This is a Tennessee team that is stacked, obviously very good in all 3 facets of the game, but experience too. Obviously not Women's College World Series experience, but experience playing a tough SEC schedule within the SEC tournament.
Chopped to short. Nice pickup by Martinez to get the lead runner, 1 down. bring up number 5, Riley West. Well, the wind has really started to pick up as well.
It's blowing in.
Here in Knoxville.
For anyone wanting to hit the ball in the air, it's going to have to be a shot to get out of here.
Yeah.
West does get a hold of one. That will stay in the yard. Takes a bounce off the wall, and runners on second and third with 1 out.
Riley West, this is a beautiful job of hitting because it's a pitcher's pitch. It's low, it's down, and she drives it. We talked a lot about the back knee for Tennessee as a huge point of emphasis with their hitters. It was her back knee that went down to get that and drove it for a double.
RBI opportunities here for Mackenzie Donahue, 0 for 3.
You see a lot of pitches down in the zone from Texas. That's what their pitchers throw, especially the ones that we've seen, Mac Morgan, Citlali Gutierrez, now Sophia Simpson. Tennessee worked a ton on getting on plane with those pitches.
And that last hit off of Simpson's off-speed pitch, she lets it travel, hits it up. He hasn't really thrown it as much as I thought she would. That changeup, she's throwing it well as a knee buckler. I wonder if Tennessee's sitting on it, knowing that the lion's share of her strikes come off that pitch.
They are underway, by the way, out in Salt Lake City, and Utah has taken a 2-0 lead on San Diego State in the first inning. So the Utes wasting no time trying to even up that series. Lou taken all the way, 3-1. Loads them up.
Yeah, talking about that functional movement that Chris Mal.
Well, I also like the way she adjusted with her eye at the plate, Jess. Riley West had 2 strikeouts earlier in this game. The next time at bat, she drew a walk that in part helped chase Citlali Gutierrez. She has really evolved as she was adjusted at the plate.
All right, we got another pitching change coming for Texas. Back in a moment.
Out of this jam, bases loaded, trying to keep the scoreboard where it's at.
She took the loss yesterday, 4 innings of work. So now Jamison Brockenbrough with the bases loaded. A run in the first, 2 more in the 6th for Tennessee. If you're wondering, Tennessee, by the way, 27-0 this year when leading into the 7th inning of a game. A little trickler that will stay foul. So that's what Texas would be up against in the bottom of the 7th. They do have their 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. Tennessee 3 outs away from a return to the World Series for the first time in 8 years. Texas must rally and win to force game 3 tomorrow.
Huge opportunity here for Tennessee to put this game away.
Base hit. 1 run is in. Karen Weekly will hold the rest. Brockenbrough with the RBI single.
Love the way that Brockenbrough's been swinging the bat hot as of late. This Tennessee team is so good at hitting the ball the other way. The majority of their hits today have been on the outer half, going the opposite way. This is a ball. This is below her knee, and she's just going to punch it through that 5-6 hole. With the bases loaded, she's going to drive in more runs for Tennessee, opening that gap now 4-0 here in the 7th.
2 strikes, too. Good protection at bat.
Here's Kutsoyanopoulos. Walked and scored in the 6th. 0 for 2 otherwise. Boy, what a big at-bat this would be for Julia. She has 1 hit in her last 33 at-bats. Would love to take a positive to Oklahoma with her. And there is a base knock. And that'll bring in 2. And it gets by Maloney. Here's the 3rd one. Kutsoyanopoulos. They're waving her home. Julia to the plate. Safe. The dam just broke on that drought. And Kutsoyanopoulos makes it 8-0 Tennessee.
What's a simple base hit ground ball? We've talked so much about the Texas freshman. It's a Texas freshman that makes the mistake going in between her legs. And how about Julia running around the bases with the dive at home and inside the Parker to clear the bases and put this thing, the huge lead. I've been there. That is an awful feeling. But a great feeling for Julia, who has been struggling at the plate. Just her 3rd hit in her last 32 plate appearances.
It's always nice to have one like that with the bases loaded to give you your confidence.
Well, to dive it home?
Yeah.
Running all the way around, that's an exclamation point.
Boy, in the bottom of the order, they'll be living large tonight in Knoxville. Brockenbrough, Kutsoyanopoulos, and Rodriguez, all with RBIs today for Tennessee. An RBI single and then an E9 in your scorebook. And here is Rodriguez, 2 for 3. And they are getting the party started now at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium.
Oh, that was a good hack from the freshman. Nice job by Mac Morgan to come back.
Opposite way, and that is dropped into the glove and out of Maloney. And Rodriguez is aboard.
She had tears from before this play. Tell you what, this is a great effort because this is a ball that's not just a line drive at you, but it's tailing away. Watch it go towards the line, and she follows it beautifully. It just pops out of her glove as she dives down. She's beating herself up out there. I just love that she made that effort after the error.
And it's not like that one error is the difference maker in the game. That is the 4th error, I believe, of the game for this Tennessee defense.
A 5-run 7th inning for Tennessee. Trying to add more before handing it over to Peyton Gotcho, who has given up just the 1 hit today. And the fans at home loving the fact that that'll get Kiki Malloy another at-bat. And what will likely be her last of the season here at home. One for 3. She doubled and scored the first run back in the first inning. Ground ball to third. They get the force out. 2 down. And now it's Zeta Pooney for the second time this inning. She led off with a walk. Drove in a run in the first, singled in the third, struck out in the fifth, and then walked already here in the seventh as they've gone around the batting order. 5 hits in the inning, a couple of walks and an error.
Nice change of speed.
Pooney, that gets under the glove of Scott, and another run will score. Katie Taylor comes in to make it 9-0.
Yeah, when the wheels start to fall off, it's probably a play that's easily made by Mia Scott. Pooney's going to get around it, and it's just right underneath the glove of Mia Scott.
I think the hardest thing, too, for Texas is they have great pitching that gets them outs on the ground. And when your defense is struggling, it's a hard place to be in that circle. They don't get a ton of swing and miss. They rely a lot on their defense to have their backs.
They're going to call that a single by Pooney. I don't know.
That's been a hot topic on
Yes,
I don't know if you guys have been following along. A lot of former players sounding off about the scoring.
Well, because it affects the batting average. It elevates the batting averages. And
affects the pitchers' numbers as well.
The Alabama Northwestern game had like 3. I was texting Caleb Rowe, who's doing that game, and I was like, it's okay to say it's an error. It's okay to say they made a mistake.
It's okay.
Ask the player, they'll tell you.
Who's reached 3 times today, a single, a couple of fielder's choices. Five hits and 3 runs through the first 6 innings, and now the 7th inning explosion with Pooney and Gibson coming up twice. Get out of play. Oh, great snag in the crowd. Oh, yeah. Celebrate.
Yes.
high fives. Woo.
There's another look.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget that one.
Called strike 3. And that'll end the inning. 9-0 Tennessee last year. That was a tough inning for Texas in what had been a 3-0 game, 6 runs across in the top of the 7th. Winner of this one will face either Northwestern or Alabama opening day Thursday at the Women's College World Series. 2-3-4 coming up for the Horns, and they are on their feet in Knoxville. Pinch hitter is Camille Corona, and she drops one in for a base hit.
It's interesting, they pinch hit for Mia Scott.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and give everybody a shot here.
Yeah.
Bailey Brandon is now the pinch hitter. Well, we know the bats can get it done for Tennessee. Since the Baylor losses in April, this win will get them to 19-3 and averaging 7 runs a game. Only Oklahoma has scored more this year. And obviously the pitching with Ashley Rogers and Peyton Gottschall and the freshman Carlin Pickens. They've got a staff that they can throw at you in Oklahoma.
Well, they do a good job of limiting the free passes. They've got the solid defense behind them, and it's just a recipe for some really good softball.
I know there wasn't a lot of opportunity, but it would have been good to see Carlin Pickens here in the Super. Didn't pitch at all. She'd struggled the last couple of weeks because they're going to need her in Oklahoma City.
Well, and what a moment for Karen Weekly, who had her husband Ralph by her side for so many years at Texas. Ralph retires. Karen flies solo the last few seasons. She talked about how rewarding and satisfying it's been, the sustained excellence. Tennessee led pretty much from start to finish in the Southeastern Conference this year. The first ever sweep of the regular season and tournament for Tennessee. And now on the brink of going back to OKC.
This is a program, if you go back and look at the history of the players that have come through here, a lot of All-Americans, a lot of big-name softball players. You expect them to be in Oklahoma City. It's actually surprising to me that it has been that long of a drought for them, so I'm glad to see that they're going to be working their way back here this year.
Well, especially because we've kind of seen it be hard to win your conference and then get to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it with UCLA out west, Arkansas last year.
Florida State got knocked out last year.
Yeah.
Now they're back this year as champions of the ACC. Two on.
Good bats, I'm telling you, coming off the bench for Texas. I know they're pinch hitters, but Peyton Gottschall has absolutely dominated this lineup, and it's been their best start to an inning.
Send it down to Holly.
Well, this Tennessee softball team has been on this mission since preseason. I actually met up with them during women's basketball season at a Lady Vol game, and we're talking with the team. I said, hey, let's make a goal to see each other in Oklahoma City. And they said, no, we're going to be competing for a national championship. They corrected me very quickly. And I just like that this team has had that mindset from day one. They went and won the championship, SEC regular season, and then they said, we're not done yet, and we're not satisfied. So they won the tournament championship. And after they won that tournament championship on the field as they were getting the trophy, they said again, we're not done yet.
It's a mindset. You got to have it, you got to stay it and vocalize it. Keep your eye on the prize every day and work hard.
Pinch hitter here is Lou Gilbert. So after Gottschall cruised through 6 innings, a stumble here. Single and a walk.
I mean, as bad as this is, I'm glad that a hit came almost in this inning, because if she had walked away from this game just an inch away from a no-hitter, not having your outfielder dive for a ball, that would hurt. That's a 2-hitter.
Gilbert gets a hold of one. West spinning around and tracking it down. 2 outs away from the World Series.
That ball was hit really well.
Yeah.
That wind.
Into the wind.
Yeah. I think that might have left the stadium had that wind not knocked it down and then took it. Watch Riley West have to switch back over other side. That's not easy to do, by the way. It's a great catch.
And actually, it's starting to swirl a little bit. So it was in, and then it was blowing toward left field. So playing with Riley a little bit.
Maya Holmes is going to be the 4th straight pinch hitter here for Texas. All the Tennessee greats that have graced this field over the years, a chance to compete at the World Series twice. They have played for a national championship. Ready to send the next crop of Lady Vols to join the likes of the Abbotts and the Feckettys and the Schutzlers and the Chavans and the Childs and
The Renfro sisters.
the Renfros,
The Shipman.
the Huffs.
A lot of them probably show up with the alums out. I just love that Beth was like off the top of her head. Just she doesn't even need the softball Bible.
You got to get a Feckety and a Schutzler in every time you come to Sherry Park Relief Stadium. There's a strikeout for Gotchel. And the Lady Vols are 1 out away.
Oh, Gotchal just really bending this curveball. Take a look at this, really nasty. She's going to start it at the knees of Holmes and then bend it back into the zone, a backdoor curveball. Her 4th strikeout of the game, but her first since that first inning.
Jordan Whitaker will be the last chance for Texas. One strike away. Rocky Top is rolling on to Oklahoma City and a trip to the Women's College World Series.